Hey everybody, Matt Rudkin here in the WSBT Forecast Center. We've been watching this storm. This is definitely a tornado on the ground. It is probably a strong one just south of Akron, Indiana, right near the Miami and Fulton County line. This is a nasty, nasty signature on velocity data. This green is winds going this way, this red's going the other way. This has to be a tornado on the ground. Something like this doesn't happen up in the clouds. So we want you to take this very seriously. And oftentimes, Ed Russo is here, by the way, meteorologist Ed Russo. Oftentimes, when these get real strong, they do what's called, they hook to the right, which would mean a due east, maybe a north track. So if you live in Akron, especially the south side, you have got to be in your safe spot. The lowest level of your home, you have to be away from windows. Interior room. If you live in a mobile home, you got to get out, especially this. If you live east of here, so there's State Road 19, there's the city of Akron. Downtown Akron should be okay, but just to the south, I'm talking a mile or two, this tornado is certainly on the ground. It is probably a strong one. And Ed Russo, what do you think? I would say at least 100 mile an hour winds.
Just as we put this into motion here, as it comes out of Fulton County, just to the east of Green Oak, you can see how it really tightens up there. We get that really bright blue, that really bright red adjacent to each other. We have not seen that yet today. This is by far the strongest tornado signature that we have seen on radar, and I'm willing to bet that that is a large, potentially very dangerous tornado on the ground.
There's no
east.
doubt. There's Rochester. There's 31, so just to the east. Again, State Road 19 and 31 between the two. If you want pre-programmed in there, I have the correlation coefficient.
Yeah.
Basically what that is a debris signature.
And we got it. Yep. We got it just west of 19.
That is debris. So the radar doesn't think it's rain or snow or ice. It can't figure out what it is. That is dirt and probably trees getting sucked up in the atmosphere, and the radar sees it. So this confirms it. There is no doubt there's a tornado on the ground just south of Akron. That's probably a strong tornado. We see signatures somewhat like this in the plains. So this is probably a fairly strong tornado pushing over to the east. And I would suspect, because this area hasn't seen rain today, it's probably going to stay on the ground for a little while.
Yeah, and this is a storm that we've been tracking all the way through Fulton County that we were concerned with near Kewanna about an hour ago, and now we're really starting to see this storm intensify. And even we call that a debris ball on this correlation coefficient, right where you see, if you can point to it, that is where we're seeing stuff that's not precipitation being detected on radar, which would indicate that that is dirt, that is large pieces of debris being lofted into the air. That evidence combined with this very strong rotation that we're seeing. It looks like the latest scan, it's weakened a little bit, but again, these storms go through life cycles, so they weaken, they strengthen. This definitely looks to be, this is as close to radar confirmation for a tornado as you can get.
Yep, and luckily, it's pretty rural down here, just south of Akron. There's a lot of farm fields, but I know if you live in one of the farms, this is a big deal to you, and this is pushing over to the east. Again, there's State Road 15, that is State Road 19, so between the two is where the tornado could be, just south of Akron. There's Rochester to give you a perspective, and then pushing over this way, if this can hold together, it's a ways away, but that would be North Manchester down that way, just to the east of the screen. So again, pretty rural down here, but there are still homes and people that live down here, and this is at least over the past 5 minutes, a probably violent tornado that just is going towards State Road 19, just to the west. So north of Macy's where it developed, it's pushing over to the east, just south of Akron.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add?
Yeah, and again, as these when you get really strong, violent tornadoes, they can kind of take on a life of their own, and it can even rapidly change direction as they strengthen. So anywhere in that warning box, interior room, lowest floor of your home immediately as we continue to track this. It looks like it's, Matt, that's State Road 19 that it's going to be crossing soon,
so,
the rotation?
Yeah, that's the State Road 19. Yep, just south. It's probably about 10, 15 miles south of Mentone, but down towards Akron, and then once you get farther south, you run into like Peru.
Yeah, that looks to be right on the county line, so just south of Akron, right along 19.
Yep, so here's Miami County, that's Fulton County, right on the county line is where this probably is. And where you saw the reds and blues, there's no doubt that was a tornado. And see how, so we'll use the county line as justification. See how it's moving to the right? It's moving back to the north. That is also, in meteorology, a pretty good confirmation that there's a tornado with this as it pushes up to the north. So it's going to ride right along that county line, and where the National Weather Service has the tornado warning, probably the northern fringe of that. So honestly, Silver Lake down to State Road 15 by the county line there, just to be safe, I would be in your safe spot. The Silver Lake itself should be okay, but the south part of town, right when you get to the Wabash County line there, you're really pushing it. You're getting real
Yeah,
close to the potential tornado in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, and definitely the area I'm most concerned about, obviously 19 and south of Akron. Also, north of 114, right along and north of 114 up towards 15 as you get closer to the Kosciuszko County line. Interior room, lowest floor now, because this is likely a confirmed tornado on the ground. Even south of 114, you got to take this seriously because the rotation is passing nearby, and we've got a real tight, compact tornado signature there on radar. Probably the best one, definitely by far, that we've seen so far this evening.
Well, earlier, we'll see about now. Hopefully not. I hope it's gone back in the cloud. There is no doubt right there that was a tornado on the ground. No doubt. Here, we'll see. It's still rotating at a pretty short distance. That's a pretty tight couplet. So I would at least suspect there's a tornado moving almost right across State Road 19 at this point. So our friends in State Road 15 land need to be in your safe spot. There's 114, right? And there's 15. So that would be Wabash County. So just south of Kosciuszko County, pushing along the county border there is where that particular storm is at right now. Yeah,
and we'll take you back, actually show you the correlation coefficient, which kind of gives us an idea on what might be lofted into the air, where you see the pink and whatnot. What we're really looking at here is south of Akron. That is indicating that we are seeing stuff lofted into the air that's not rain or hail. That's actually debris, dirt being kicked up. So we do see a debris ball signature here, coinciding with the fact that we also have strong rotation in that exact location too. So pretty powerful evidence that we do have a tornado on the ground.
Can you zoom out just a little bit?
Yeah.
You can go back to reflectivity if you want.
Okay.
Again, let's assume this holds together. Could it? Sure. Will it? Probably not, but let's assume it does, all right? I want to zoom out a little bit here and give you perspective. So there's Akron, there's Claypool, Silver Lake. North Manchester is, it's about right here. South Whitley's here. And I know North Manchester is a big deal. There's the school there, and I have several of you who watch and send me storm reports all the time from North Manchester. If this holds together, it's going to be close to town. So if you live there, we're talking 20 minutes. But it's a good time to prepare just in case. You know, get the kids together, make a little game of it, get pillows and blankets and stuff like that. Go to the basement, go to an interior room if you don't have one, or a bathroom. That's the place to go. But this is still a real nasty storm. Has a tornado warning with it until I believe 8:15.
Yep.
So that's a nasty one on the far southern part of our viewing area there. And again, I know a lot of you from Akron watch us, Silver Lake, you as well. Just the south of you, there is a storm that at least 10 minutes ago, no doubt had a tornado on the ground. Now is certainly rotating. The couplet's weakened just a little bit.
And it looks like now the tornado has been cut a little bit, just including the county of Wabash. It looks like the rotation is now it looks like it's actually picking back up a little bit.
I would agree with that,
But
too.
you see where the polygon red area ends. I think, you know, still further west than that, over towards 19, still need to be in your safe place, absolutely, as that continues to move overhead.
Did they cut the warning?
It looks like they cut the warning, but the rotation is still being seen along 19. So anywhere along 19, eastward, even west of there, should still be in their safe place until the threat is passed. But yeah, this is definitely approaching 114 in Wabash County. And if you're north of there, again, stronger tornadoes tend to take that right turn, so it would potentially turn more to the north, closer to the Kosciuszko County line. This is one that you really have to take seriously. And even up towards the Kosciuszko County line, I would recommend certainly getting to your safe place immediately. And you can see that rotation still looking pretty strong there.
Okay, if you want to zoom out, we'll give a quick summary. We'll take one more look at this when we're done. I'll toss you back to programming, but I just wanted to get you up to date on that one because we saw that in the weather office. It is nasty, and when you see something like that, there is very little doubt that there's a strong tornado on the ground. The heaviest is south of us. That's because they haven't seen much rain. We are dealing with more rain. It is not good. Obviously, farmers have big problems this spring. This will aggravate that. Also, this is probably going on 3+ inches of rain now, so flash flooding is a serious concern around the region. So please keep that in mind if you're going to be traveling this evening. But there's a couple warnings. They're mainly in our southern counties, right? Down towards Warsaw, Rochester areas. That's where the severe thunderstorm warning's at. Up here, just regular thunderstorms at this point. The severe weather threat is diminishing pretty quickly in our northern counties. But if you want to go back south, Ed, we'll summarize that real quick. And then again, down that way, not the case, where there's quite a bit of thunderstorms. We've got that one tornado warning in Fulton County, also Wabash County, and there it is. So there's Kosciuszko County, there's Silver Lake, right? So there is Akron. You make your way down towards basically south of Silver Lake there once you get close to 15. Still some really tight rotation. If there's not a tornado, there could be at any moment. There certainly was all but 10 minutes ago as that push to the east.
Yeah, again,
Anything you want to add?
Yep, this is again for Miami, Wabash counties. Looks like the rotation is in the very eastern portion. It looks like they have reissued another warning for the same area, but that covers the rotation near Akron in Fulton County, and that's continuing to move to the east. And you know, we're saying it's moving to the east, but with time that could curve a little bit further north, closer to the Kosciuszko County line. So that's something to be concerned with.
So like Silver Lake, for example.
Yeah,
we want you to be in your safe spot. Although you're south or north of the warning, the warning south of you, like Ed said, these things can sometimes cut right or north and go right along the border.
And that warning has actually now includes southern portions of Kosciuszko County.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes so just south of Sydney there, barely.
Yep, because it's starting to make that right turn that we were alluding to.
And honestly, with all due respect, I would kind of just ignore the warnings at the point. Watch these things, and again, as it moves to the north, that's the area you don't want to be in. So south of Silver Lake, and I know there's a lot of farm towns down there, or farm communities. However, just south of Silver Lake, if you're one of them, you're going to want to be in your safe spot as this pushes to the east. This is a nasty, nasty couplet, and you can see a new warning issued because of it.
And I believe we'll put a little query on it here and see exactly when it goes till. So this is for Fulton, Kosciuszko, Miami, and Wabash County. That's at least going until it looks like 8:30 this evening. I'll take that warning off. And again, it's this newly issued red box here. That's including southern portions of Kosciuszko County, just south of Silver Lake. So along 15 between 114 and 14. 14 goes through Silver Lake. 114 is south of there into Wabash County. That's kind of ground zero for this rotation that we're currently tracking.
Yep. And real quick, do you want to put on the debris signature again?
Yeah,
we'll look at that one more time.
Yep.
And from reflectivity, I've got the radar on my computer here. I mean, we call them hooks, and it's just like it sounds. It hooks. And the fact you're seeing it on correlation coefficient.
Yeah, look at that.
Confirms
Look at
that there's quite a bit of non-precipitation material being lofted into the sky here. So just south and east of Akron. I mean, this is nasty. Just south of Silver Lake, I think it's fair to say there's a tornado on the ground.
Yeah, and you can actually see the signature near Silver Lake area. That could be inflow into the actual tornado dust that's being wrapped into the circulation. That's what appears to be definitely on the ground into I'd say extreme eastern Fulton County, east of Akron.
And again, south of Silver Lake, and I want to keep reiterating this for friends and family who have friends and family in North Manchester. This is heading right towards North Manchester along State Road 13 there. So if you have friends there, maybe give them a brief phone call. There's probably 10 minutes till this gets to town, but this is heading right towards that city. And that's probably the most populated community within this warning. At least you've got some time here. But just south of Silver Lake in Kosciuszko County, between Akron and Silver Lake, this is a nasty storm that certainly has the potential for a tornado. If not, there may be one on the ground. At least the last few scans looks like it's weakening a little bit. Doesn't mean it's lifted. However, that looks a little bit better than 10 minutes ago when we cut back in.
But it really has taken that right turn over the past, I'd say, 10 minutes or so.
Yep.
So this continues for Kosciuszko County, Wabash, Miami until 8:30 this evening. South of Silver Lake, especially along 15, is the area we're most concerned about. Also, anywhere really between Indiana State Route 14 and Indiana State 114 is where this rotation is moving through. And definitely this storm has had a history of producing tornadoes. We've pretty much gotten radar confirmation that this thing
earlier there's no doubt
was on the ground.
Looks a little better now. That's the good news. We're going to wait one, maybe two more scans. If it continues to look good, I'll get you back to programming. And again, we will keep an eye on it. When we need to pop in, we'll pop in like we did. But 10 minutes ago with that debris signature, no doubt we had a tornado on the ground just south of Akron, Indiana, pushing over towards the east. Pushing towards 15. And again, this looks a whole lot better. And Ed, you can pick your brain. That looks a whole lot better than it did 10 minutes ago.
And I will say there was, I'm looking at the chat here, and they are labeling this tornado as opposed to being radar indicated, they are labeling it as observed.
Yeah, so that means people. So I mean, there was no doubt 10 minutes ago.
Right. So we're getting confirmation even from the National Weather Service that this, thing was on the ground. It was large and still is, but potentially extremely dangerous as it moves east.
And when you get a large tornado, I mean, this could have been similar to what the planes get once in a while. Luckily, it doesn't look as strong now. But when we call them they hook, they go to the right movers, so north. When you see that happening on radar, so it was going east, right now we've got a north component. Real good textbook classic example of a strong storm that probably had a tornado with it, or potentially has. At least the next scan, we'll wait one more here until this comes through. That's looking quite a bit better than 10 minutes ago.
And so while we're waiting for that next scan to come in, we'll just zoom out here and give you one kind of general look of the viewing area. And we're looking at, again, just some very heavy rain producing thunderstorms north of 30. None of these have warnings associated with them. We do have the flash flood warning, which continues for southern Berrien, LaPorte, unfortunately getting more heavy rain in areas that have already seen it, and much of St. Joe County, where that flash flood warning continues through 9:30. Might even be extended beyond that with additional rainfall that is falling. But again, the severe thunderstorm warning for Fulton, southern Kosciuszko continues, and the very southern end of Kosciuszko County into Wabash and Miami, we are looking at the tornado warning continuing, and there it is, still solid rotation there. It looks like it's
moving
pulsing
north
up
again. Yeah.
Yep, it looks like it's trying to.
Again, Silver Lake, you got to be in your safe spot.
Yep.
That is definitely pulsing up. And see how it's moving to the north? It's not good. When you see that, that is a good indication of something on the ground and potentially fairly decent sized at that.
So that's about soon, probably in the next 10 minutes or so, going to be crossing 15. And the latest scan, Matt, to me, it looks like it's trying to get more organized once again.
It still looks better than it did, but that certainly looks pretty significant. It's just south of Silver Lake there.
Yeah. We'll put the, are we waiting for another scan? You want me to put the debris ball signature back on?
See something.
Okay, yeah, so let's see. I mean, what you can really tell here is you can see, you see that bright green just to the east of Disco. That's right where we're seeing the strongest rotation, and what that could be is a sign of debris being lofted into the air. The signature was more intense about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, so you can pull it back like 15 minutes and you can see.
So we'll kind of show you. We'll go back.
Just because you don't see debris doesn't mean there's not a tornado on the ground. Remember, there's a lot of farm fields down here, so it could just be sucking up sand if there is one up there, which isn't as noticeable as like trees and debris. But that, just north of Macy, between Macy and Akron, is nasty. That was certainly a tornado on the ground, no doubt, from a meteorology or a radar standpoint. And as it's pushed to the east, you'll notice, so basically there's Macy. Yeah, that tornado was right along the county line there. And then I don't want to say dissipated because it may not have yet, but the debris signature doesn't look quite as intense as it did earlier. But this storm certainly has the potential, and it's moving towards, again, North Manchester, just south of Silver Lake. This is State Road 13. There's Sydney. Again, so this is just south of Kosciuszko County and Wabash.
Yeah, that latest scan there, Matt, definitely it looks like it's trying to re-intensify. The bright green and red adjacent to each other. Classic tornado signature.
So that's 15. I think that's 114, if I remember right.
Yeah, so between 15 and 114 is really where we're looking at ground zero here.
South of Silver Lake, you want to be in your safe spot. I'll tell you what, Ed, I'll let you can hop on the wall. I'm going to check something behind the scenes here.
Okay.
But if you live in this area, please take this seriously. This is not a storm where we're not confident on something. I mean, there is no doubt there's a tornado with this just south of Silver Lake pushing to the east to our friends in North Manchester and also Sydney. You need to be in your safe spot. Ed, you can mention, too, the northern part of this warning is where we're really concerned, and it may be just north of that red line.
Now, when you're looking at this, there is Kosciuszko County, Matt, that's Wabash County directly south of there. And right along the county line,
so
you may think,
I'm the county line.
Yeah, right there. You may think, oh, I'm okay. But remember, this is a strong tornado that's on the ground. As these storms strengthen, as tornadoes strengthen, they take more of a right hook.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we've seen over the past 15 minutes here. It's beginning to move into very southern portions of Kosciuszko County, so the Silver Lake area into southeastern portions of Kosciuszko County. Interior room, lowest floor of your home, away from windows. You need to exercise your safety plan right now. You need to put it into place because this is potentially a very serious situation. So and the latest scan there
looks a little better. But you notice, so the storm's moving this way, but we think it'll travel more like this way, especially if it continues to strengthen over the next couple of minutes.
And that's what it's already done, because this rotation was originally south of Fulton County. So if you take your line back like this, it's actually been moving like this. It's had a north component to its movement, and that's helping to explain why it's now potentially moving into southern Kosciuszko County. But you can see how clear that is. I mean, it's like a bullseye. You see that green right next to red, and that's where we're seeing all the radar indicated rotation. And Matt, we could take it back to the correlation coefficient to kind of show where that debris ball signature might be. And it'd be right there. Earlier we were detecting blue, and when you get that blue color, that is stuff other than precipitation being lofted into the air. So that's pretty much radar confirmation that we have a tornado on the ground. And you can clearly see, Matt, if you take it back again, you can actually see its right hook as it moves to the right as it continues to intensify. So it's moving more like that. So that's why that warning has been extended into southern portions of Kosciuszko County.
It is right there.
Yeah.
That's what we're watching. Just east of Akron, and I'm talking, I would say, 1.5 miles south of Silver Lake. Not far at all. Right across the Wabash County line, which if you live down that way, you know it's a mile, what, 2 miles at most, south of 14. And that's where this tornado's at.
Yeah, and the other thing to consider is that even if the tornado isn't passing directly over you, when you have a really strong tornado, you can get real strong inflow winds away from the actual tornado that can also do damage. So, and that would put you in southern portions of Kosciuszko County. So you can see south of Silver Lake, over towards the Sydney area, definitely need to be exercising the tornado safety plan. So Liberty Mills, Kinsey, South Whitley, Luther, Columbia City, around 9:14, Luther around 8:58, 8:52 in South Whitley. Again, that's for this tornado-warned storm as it continues to move east through Wabash and southern Kosciuszko County. Again, it looks like the worst of this is smack dab between Indiana 14 and Indiana 15. Matt, on the chat, were you getting any other confirmed reports?
I have to look for you.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah, so we're probably, I mean, we had confirmation of an observed tornado on the ground in addition to it being radar indicated. Now, further north, still some very heavy rain-producing thunderstorms across Kosciuszko County to much of eastern Marshall. And Matt, we can go north one more time into LaPorte County, southern Berrien County, St. Joe County. That's seen a lot of rain today. Flash flood warning continues until 9:30. That would actually be 10:30 Eastern time for that flash flood warning to continue. Might even be extended since we're getting an additional storm moving over the area. But the main concern continues to be that tornado-warned storm for Fulton, Kosciuszko, Miami, and Wabash right now, affecting mainly Kosciuszko and Wabash County as the circulation continues to move in that direction. Also, some more tornado warnings down towards Grant, Miami, and Wabash County, the southern end of Miami and Wabash. Yeah. Look at all that lightning that's blowing up with that storm. So these storms are moving into an atmosphere that hasn't been worked over. There hasn't been, in terms of, there's still a lot of energy available in the atmosphere for these storms to strengthen. But if we zoom out to the wide shot here, once all of this activity is generally east of you, the severe weather threat should diminish as we work through the evening.
Yeah, and honestly, severe weather threat is pretty much low for the rest of the area. We're watching these storms in our southern counties. Give this a half-hour, and the severe weather threat's essentially going to be done. South of our area, down here towards Lafayette, Kokomo, and over towards Marion and Muncie, some nasty storms for them. But for us, it's just this one storm here. We will keep an eye on it. Tell you what, we'll get you back to programming here. If we see it spin back up through parts of Kosciuszko or Wabash counties, we will break back in. However, the severe weather threat across the rest of the area in Indiana and Michigan, our part of Indiana, north of 24, and in Michigan, continues to decline. So that's the good news. Anything else you want to add, Ed?
No, I think we're good. Remember that tornado warning continues for southern Kosciuszko County until 8:30 p.m. We're going to continue to monitor the situation as it unfolds this evening. Of course, updates on WSBT 22 News on Fox and WSBT 22 News at 11.